All right, well, it's his cousin, her cousin, your cousin Vinny. I'm here with Bob. I've known you for a few years. I see you always out at. I seen you the last time at the Pumpkin Drop.
Yep.
Seen you at the Flock Swap. You were working with another company at the time.
Yes.
Back years ago.
Yes.
And then now you're doing your own thing. Why don't you introduce yourself? Say your name and.
My name is Bob Humbert, and I'm with a group called Wolcottsville Wildlife Rescue.
Wolcottsville Wildlife Rescue. Where is that out of?
Well, we're out of Akron.
Akron. Okay. And what do you guys do, man?
Well, what we do is we take in sick, injured, orphan wildlife.
Okay.
Give it the help they need to return back to the wild again.
Okay.
For instance, wrap wounds, take them to the vets.
Yeah.
Give them medicine, give them rehab, and with the goal to always get them back to the wild.
Yeah. Okay. That's obviously the main goal.
That's the main goal. Yes.
Yeah. And obviously that doesn't work out for some animals.
Not all the time, no. And thankfully, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife in the state allows me to possess a certain amount of animals for education purposes.
Okay.
That can't go back to the wild for one reason or another.
Yeah, either they're blind or they just.
Well, no, not blind, but maybe they can't fly or they can't use their feet right or.
Okay. Okay. And how often does that usually happen?
Well, it's a real tight guidelines to follow. There's certain times where I must euthanize.
Yeah.
For instance, if a bird has a break above the elbow, because their bones are hollow, they don't heal as good and as easy.
Okay.
So the U.S. Fish and Wildlife require that I euthanize them.
Euthanize them, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And now, are those the guys who call you mostly? It's like US or DEC?
No, it's the public that calls me.
Public.
But I do get called from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife and the DEC too.
Yeah, to come and help out.
But majority of my calls come from the public.
Okay, because like I was just looking at your Facebook yesterday and seeing you posted on there you're releasing some ducks and geese and stuff like that, and that's cool. I mean that's cool stuff, man. So you range from everything though. I mean it's not just birds.
No, I rescue everything but raccoons, skunks, and bats.
Okay.
That's because you require another license to do that, a rabies vector license.
Rabies, yeah.
And I also I don't do deer.
Yeah.
But there's a big place up in Newfane. And she specializes in deer, so I send everybody up there with their deer.
Okay, cool. I didn't even know that people did, rehabilitated deer like that.
Yeah, sometimes there's a need.
Yeah.
But most of the time it's leave them alone, let them be.
Yeah, let them kind of nature take its course.
Unless you know that the mother's dead for sure, like hit by a car, or if the animal approaches you crying.
I got you.
It's,
like the mother, you've seen her get hit by a car. There's a little fawn.
Exactly. And the mothers, the babies don't walk around with the mothers because they go around and get all their nourishment, and the babies can't keep up with the herd.
Yeah.
So what the mother will do will put them down in the field and come back in a few hours and feed them again.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's when the coyotes sometimes can take advantage.
Well, not really. The coyotes, the most problem they have with babies is when they're first born.
When they're dropping, because then they have a scent, the afterbirth. Okay.
After the mother licks them all off, they actually lose their scent. So they're not attracted by the scent.
Okay, so basically if a coyote is finding a fawn, they got lucky.
It just got born.
They got lucky, you know what I mean? Okay.
Well, they're smart too. They know when how to tell a doe's in distress and having a baby.
I got you. Yeah, I got you. Because I've seen actually that. I've seen it before where you could tell the mother's about to drop a fawn and there's a coyote hot on her.
Not far.
It's happening.
Exactly.
You know what's happening. And unfortunately, but that's the way of life for them. And
well, that's the cycle.
That's a part of the cycle.
It all has a place. It all has a purpose.
Yeah, and I'm guessing obviously you've been how long have you been doing this?
Oh, about 14 years now.
14 years.
Yeah.
Well, what got you into wildlife rehabilitation?
I found a couple of red-tailed hawks on the side of the road within 1 week.
Really?
And my daughter's friend was a rehabber she worked with, and I took them to the place that she was with.
Yeah.
And they just, after the second one said, this is a calling, maybe you should think about doing it. And, here I am today.
Yeah, I got you. Oh, yeah. No regrets, though, right? I mean,
no, none whatsoever.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's
none
cool.
whatsoever.
And I appreciate what you do, and everybody out there should definitely appreciate a rehabilitator because what they do is hard work.
It is.
And it's definitely I don't know how the money is in it and stuff like that. But
it's not a paying job.
I was gonna say I didn't think
it's strictly volunteer, and how we get how we get going the most is by public support.
Public support, yeah.
I set up for fundraisers, and
Yeah.
every year I have a fundraiser, second Saturday of August.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, and then I set up places on weekends, and I go to schools, and
Yeah.
I do scout troops.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, and that's great what you do. Education with the birds and stuff like that.
Well, that's what I have to do with them. They have to work.
Yeah.
That's the reason they give me the permits.
Okay.
They all have to do a certain amount of shows a year.
In that's each animal.
That's each animal.
Each animal. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. How many animals do you have?
Well, on my U.S. Fish and Wildlife permit,
Yeah.
I have a crow, a snowy owl, a red-tailed hawk, and a barn owl.
Okay.
But I also have another license which allows me to exhibit exotic animals,
Okay.
and I have somewhere near 20.
Really? Okay. Okay, that's cool. And I know you have the porcupines, right?
Yeah, porcupines.
But those aren't native porcupines. Didn't they come from
No,
somewhere?
those are African crested porcupines.
Now, where did those come from?
Well, I have a friend in Pennsylvania who
Yeah.
has an exhibit too.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's part of my exhibitor, my Class C exhibitor's license.
Okay.
And that's from the USDA.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. And how? It might be a weird question, but how is it having a porcupine, living around a porcupine?
Well, these porcupines are actually what's called imprinted.
Okay.
They were born in captivity.
Okay, so they're not.
So was another exhibitor, and they're not really. They're more like my puppy dogs than they are.
I gotcha.
they're not
been
really
quilled by
aggressive.
accident?
I have.
Have you
Yeah,
been? Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, it's got to
Well, they get excited and they stand them up, and
Yeah.
if you're standing next to them, you get a
You're gonna
couple
get
jabs.
one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But no, I mean that's cool though. I mean and the thing about it is like red-tailed hawks especially. I see them all the time.
The most common hawk in the area is the red tail. Yeah.
And now it looks like I remember talking to people in the 70s and 80s and they weren't as common as they are now.
Well, back in those times is when the farmers were using the chemical agent DDT.
DDT. Okay.
And that put a really big hurting on all the raptors.
Okay.
It almost made the eagles go extinct.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
But what it did was it would do something to the calcium process in the mother, and it softened the eggs.
So when they
sat on the eggs, they crushed the
they
eggs.
crush them. Okay. Yeah. And now you're starting to see eagles and
Big
osprey,
comeback. Yeah,
big, huge,
big
especially in
comeback.
the we're only a couple minutes away
Right.
from the Alabama swamp, and they're starting to come back like
I
crazy.
see them all the time. I'm just right a stone throw from the swamp.
Are you? Yeah. Okay. And I drive through there often, just
Yeah.
checking out stuff, and they're starting to come back, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of nesting pair in the area now.
Yeah. And when do they nest? Isn't it?
Well, they come in somewhere around March and April.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's pretty cool. I thought it was a little bit later in the season.
No, it's earlier.
Early in the season. Okay.
And what happens though with them a lot of times is while they're coming back,
Yeah.
a great horned owl's already in their nest.
Oh,
and,
really?
And has eggs, and the great horned owl's gonna keep that bald eagle away.
So what do? They just take over the nest?
They
Then?
do.
Do they really?
They're real. They're lazy.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're just looking for an opportunity.
They'll steal it and won't let them come back.
Oh shit. Oh,
Real
that's-
aggressive how great horns are.
And then what are they doing? Just they take the eggs and kick them out of the.
Well, their eggs ain't there yet.
Oh, so they're just waiting for them to build the nest.
Well, it's already built from the year prior.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I see what they're doing there.
So when the eagle comes back, the owl's
Yeah.
in there, and
And he's like, "Yeah, get out of
you
here,
go
buddy."
build a new one.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can
Yeah.
pound salt. I'm in this one.
Yeah, right.
But no, that's cool. I mean, and really, honestly, I'm surprised at how many birds that we do have in Western New York that people don't even know about, like great horned owls.
I you know what? I still don't even know them all.
I mean,
I've rehabbed the majority of them, but not all of them.
yeah. So you've had great horned owls, and
I've had a lot of great horns,
really,
a lot of red tails, Cooper's hawks, sharpshin hawks,
yeah,
Merlin falcons,
Merlin. Oh, I've never even heard of that one.
American kestrels.
Oh wow, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, I've had every raptor just about in the area.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
really?
rescued an eagle before up in Point Breeze.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, how was that?
Well, it was cool.
Was it cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool to have that. You
It
know.
was immature.
Oh, was it? Yeah. So
Yeah.
he didn't have his white hat on him or
No,
anything like that.
no, he was just having a little problem. That year's bird having
Yeah.
a problem figuring out the hunting situation.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he was kind of lacking there. Huh?
Failure to thrive.
I gotcha. And unfortunately, I mean, when it comes to the birds like that, like if they fail on a hunt,
Well, they don't eat every day.
Yeah.
But if they go 3 or 4 days without eating,
Yeah.
they lose a lot of energy, and that
Yeah.
takes a lot of energy to fly.
Now is that on the board with every raptor bird? They need about 3 days.
Well, they can go that, but they normally don't.
They normally
Unless
don't.
they get sick and something happens, they injure a shoulder or something and have and that's where I like to come in, for something like that, a soft tissue damage.
Yeah.
You can usually get that healed up real fast.
Okay.
And get them back again
Get
to
them
the
back
wild.
out there.
The sooner you get them back to the wild, the better.
And that's and like you were saying too, that's the main goal is to get them back out in the
Yes.
wild, because that's where they belong anyway.
That's where they belong.
Like you see people all the time, like you were telling me about the crow.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
like people shouldn't have these animals as pets, even though they look cool.
They are cool, but they don't make good pets.
No.
You can't take a wild animal into your house and expect to turn it into a pet.
Yeah.
It's gonna affect the animal where they could never go back to the wild again.
Yeah.
And not only that, it stresses them out to a point where, in the crow's situation, he actually, anywhere he could reach with his beak, he pulled his feathers out.
So he was bald then.
So he was bald.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen actually like parakeets do
Parakeets
that.
do it, and parrots. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know what crows do.
It's all it's stress related.
Stress related.
Yeah.
And was that just from being a wild animal that was brought?
It was, and he was kept in a real small cage in the house.
Yeah.
With dogs and cats and screaming kids.
Yeah. And that's terrible to see too. Like when you see people pick up a baby fox or a coyote or something like that and say, "Hey, I'm going to make it a pet." That's
my coyote's the same thing.
Oh, you have a coyote.
Somebody had it as a puppy until she was 2 years old. Totally destroyed her.
And she can never go out in the
She
wild
can never,
again.
because all she knows is dog food.
Yeah.
That's all she knows.
Yeah.
And it was really sad because she had a 10 by 10.
Oh, really?
And like a coyote covers 15, 20 miles a night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know they covered that much.
Yeah, they cover a lot of space.
Like I hear actually.
Well, maybe not that, but that much. They do that much walking.
I gotcha. Oh, wow. That's a lot, honestly.
Yeah.
I heard them last night. They were out here yipping out back. And,
yeah, they're getting ready to get in the dens and.
Yeah. So do they hibernate?
No.
They don't hibernate.
No, they don't hibernate.
What are they doing?
Well, they start then. They start getting the females start getting in the den and.
Okay, ready to have a litter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're usually born around March. I had February, March.
Okay.
In a den.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So they're actually like when the snow's still out there. They're
just the same as a fox too.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And so that's why when like usually
you see them in March, they're already their eyes are open. They're 6-8 weeks old.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's when you hear like the mothers will scream if they lose one, gets away from them or something like that. And well, that's cool. I have some owls that live around here. I don't know what they are, but they don't hoot. They make like a kind of like a weird whistle.
That's a screech owl.
A screech owl?
Yeah.
Only about yay big.
Oh, that's kind of big. Screech owl's about that big.
Oh no, he's about yay big. Little brown face owl.
It could be like a short-eared owl.
Short-eared owl.
Yeah.
How many owls are in this area?
I think there's 8 different. There's saw-whet owls, screech owls, long-eared owls, short-eared owls, barred owls, great horned owls.
Snowies.
And there is barn owls in New York, but not around here.
Oh, okay. So a barred owl is different than a barn owl.
A barred owl is different than a barn owl.
But then a barn owl. Okay.
Yeah.
What would you say your favorite one is? Or not just owls, just birds in general.
It's there's just so many of them that I couldn't even tell. I don't even know.
No, I got you.
Probably my favorite that I had would be the snowy owl.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're all the same to me.
Yeah, I got you. Oh, yeah, you love them all the same, right? And that's cool, man. And that's just one thing really to stress, though. I mean, if anybody does find these animals on the side of the road or anything like that, definitely call a rehabilitator. You know what I mean? And don't think that you're gonna be Jane Goodall and take this animal in and try to save them.
Exactly. You have to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you have to know what the animals are eating.
And that's the thing too. I mean, like you could stress out an animal way worse by bringing it into the house.
Real bad.
I
mean, you can, and like I say, if it's a baby, you can destroy it because it'll become what's called imprinted.
Yeah.
And then it'll just never go back to the wild.
And how that could happen pretty fast.
Well, especially with birds, baby birds.
Baby birds, especially.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a duck or a baby goose or a gosling.
And that's a big thing because I always see you see kids at the park or something. They want to go pick up a baby goose or a baby duck or something like that, and that's bad. I mean, you should. And
well, first of all, if the mother's there, you're not going to get away with just picking it up.
Not the baby goose.
But
especially.
sometimes they get abandoned.
Okay.
Okay. What will happen is a mother has 15 eggs.
Okay.
12 of them will hatch.
Yeah.
She thinks she's done. She gets up and leaves. After she's gone, one or two more might hatch.
Okay.
So then they come out of the nest. They don't know what to do.
Yeah, they don't see
anybody. And the first thing they see is you.
Yeah.
Guess what? You're the mama.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha. And then now you're imprinted on that bird.
And now that bird's imprinted.
Yeah, I gotcha. And that's a pain though too, because I mean it's sometimes it's hard to say that too.
Well, they're not afraid of man then.
No, they're not afraid of man. And the thing about it is too is people need to realize that these are wild animals. Sometimes, even though it's a baby bird, a baby gosling, a baby duckling, or something like that, sometimes it's better to let nature take its course.
Sometimes it is,
because what are you going to do at that point? Now you have a baby gosling that has a dependency on a person.
Right.
When what are they going to do? They can't go back out.
The best thing, when I tell people, the best thing to do is get it, put it in a box.
Yeah.
Close it up, put it in a dark, quiet place.
Yeah.
And then wait until I get there to get it.
Wait until okay. And that's really the best. And then so how, say you're rehabilitating an animal, right? So for whatever reason. Now, what do you have to do? What is the process?
Well, baby birds require feeding about every 15 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God! So that's
and that's only during the daylight hours.
During the daylight hours.
But yeah, it's about every 15 minutes at first.
Oh wow!
And then you can stretch it out to half hour, 45 minutes.
Okay.
But a mother comes to the nest. She's got 4 babies.
Yeah.
She's got one piece of food.
Okay.
So one baby gets fed. She comes back, 10 minutes later, feeds another baby. So that's one of the conceptions is they do eat she feeds every 15 minutes, but not every mouth gets fed every 15 minutes.
I get what you're saying. So is that why you see some of them end up dying off because
getting
maybe
kicked out of the nest?
The strongest one keeps getting the feed, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Okay, so that makes sense. And I didn't know that, honestly. I thought that the mother came back with enough to regurgitate for maybe...
not for all of them. Maybe one or two of them. And then she's gone and she's back to the nest again right away.
Okay.
But...
Now here's a question for you. Now, obviously, you have the red-head tail hawk and stuff like that. Now, what do you have to feed these animals? Do you have to feed them natural feed?
I do. All my raptors eat mice and rats.
Mice and rats, okay.
And every once in a while, it's not beyond me to stop and pick some roadkill.
Yeah, honestly.
A squirrel, a rabbit.
Yeah, absolutely.
As long as it's fresh.
Yeah. Now, would you take, I know there's duck hunters out there, and there's sea ducks that are basically unedible. Would you take stuff like that if it's fresh?
Well, sometimes I would, but I don't always have the freezer room.
I got what you're saying. Okay, so you're pretty packed in.
Yeah, it's I got a couple of people who donate.
Yeah.
As it is.
Okay.
And,
well, I'll always ask you now if I ever hear anything. Too.
Yeah.
I'll always.
Yeah, a lot of times if like somebody deer hunting, for example, at the end of the year they throw out their meat.
Yeah.
If I have a vulture or something, sure, I'll gladly take it.
I got you. I gotcha. Okay, well that's cool then. At least that's good to know because anybody listening too could always contact me.
And my bobcat eats that stuff once in a while.
Oh, bobcat.
But yeah.
Oh, that's cool. How's it? Oh man, where'd you get the bobcat?
He was actually I rescued. I had to buy him. Okay. But I rescued him out of Pennsylvania.
Did you? Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. I mean, even though you're saying I had to buy him, you're not buying them from you're not buying them from a zoo. You know what I mean?
They're not from. But this guy. The problem with this was USDA inspected every year.
Okay.
But it was terrible. So either
terrible conditions.
I don't know. I can't explain what happened or why it happened.
Yeah.
But this bobcat was kept in a bad spot.
Really?
He had a real small enclosure.
Yeah.
To get out of the wild, he had a 2 foot by 3 foot box.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
Now to get out of the weather,
yeah,
it's bigger than his whole entire enclosure was before.
Really?
And he's in a 30 by 20, 12 foot tall.
Oh, definitely enclosure. A lot happier than he was.
Yeah.
Well, that's good, man. I mean, honestly, it's. And like I said, I know you from the past and stuff like that, and that's why I wanted to have you on here because you are a knowledgeable person with all this kind of stuff, and I know your passion for it. I can hear it in your voice when you're out at different shows, like when we were at Tractor Supply at the Flock Swap, and you were over there. I can tell that you're not just the average run of the mill guy. Like you actually put your heart and soul.
Well, that's what I'm very dedicated.
Yeah.
I don't turn nothing down.
Yeah.
You know, and some rescue places will do that. They'll pick and choose.
Will they?
If you know, unless it's an owl or a hawk, they don't want to.
I gotcha.
But I'm not that way because
Yeah.
everything's important.
I gotcha. Which
You
is
know,
true.
From
which
the
is
little
true.
sparrow to the big giant eagle.
Yeah.
You know,
That's true.
it's all has a purpose
Yeah.
in that cycle.
Now, have you ever had a problem with it? Like, have you ever run into any problems doing this kind of work?
Well, I wouldn't. I would just trying to get the animals rescued.
Just trying to
That's
get the
that's
animal.
about the only problem.
Yeah. I was gonna say because how much of a pain could that be sometimes?
Well, that's why when people call me and they tell me they have a goose, and I said, well, that's the reason of the term wild goose chase, because I can't guarantee I'm going to be able to catch that goose.
I got what you're
You know,
saying. Yeah.
And they'll say, well, it's got fishing line wrapped around its legs. Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad you noticed that, but can it still fly?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I said, well, how can you really expect me to catch it?
Yeah. Exactly.
I can't fly.
Exactly.
You know,
Oh yeah, just because he's got line wrapped around
or
his
what they'll do is they'll hang 3 feet away from water.
Yeah.
So as soon as you try to make a go for them, they're in the water and they're swimming around laughing at you.
Yeah, and he's
you know?
gone. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you go to the lake or some river or something, he's
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. You
Yeah,
know.
I
But
can't. You can't rescue everything.
You
know?
can't save them all.
No.
You can't. Even though you wish you could, you can't save them all. And
And you can't go on other people's property if they don't want you to.
have you
know,
ever
so-
had a problem with that?
I've had.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Even though you're trying to rescue, obviously,
Yeah.
like being a hunter in the hunting community and stuff like that. And I hate to consider myself just a hunter. I consider myself more of an outdoorsman, where it's because you get hunters out there who just go out there, and I wouldn't say even consider that person a hunter. I'd consider that person a dickhead who goes out there and just shoots everything.
That's it. There's assholes and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
And one of my biggest supporters of doing this is actually the hunters.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, they understand the balance more than most people.
Absolutely.
And I get more calls from hunters probably than the average.
Than the average,
The average animal loving
Yeah.
person.
I get you. And you know what? I think that might be just because hunters in general, and I want to stress this to people too, that not everybody out there, like a lot of people look at hunters in a bad light, but the thing about it is not every hunter's out there. We're not killing eagles. We're not,
Yeah,
we're not,
I'm not I don't begrudge anybody for putting meat in their freezer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you're doing it the legal, the right way,
Yeah.
I feel like that should be,
If
that's
you're
fine.
taking an animal and putting meat in your freezer, I have no problem
Yeah.
with it. But if you're killing it just to kill it and hanging on a wall, there's a little bit of a
Yeah, that's for me too.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree 100% with that. I look at it more of like a honestly, like I go out in the woods and I kill a deer. It's more like a spiritual thing to me. Like, I went out there, I was able to kill this. I'm gonna eat every part of this animal.
Yeah, right,
You know what I mean?
right.
And if it has antlers,
and you thank the animal for being a part of that
absolutely.
process.
And then the thing about it
That's
is,
the way it is.
yeah, and if it has antlers on there, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Right.
matter to me or not. I just, I'm using that animal for me and my family. And that's the thing. I mean, hunters out there and outdoorsmen out there, I'll say that outdoorsmen out there are definitely more in tune with nature and can tell. I feel like what's wrong with an animal and see
Right.
it. So I'm happy to hear that too. That you get a lot of calls from
Yeah.
outdoorsmen and stuff
Yeah.
like that. That's cool. But I don't know if this is true or not. But I heard that the growing red-tailed hawk population is actually what kind of took the pheasants down.
Well, here's the thing. The pheasant is not a native species.
Okay.
The pheasant is from Europe and Asia.
Okay, the Asian pheasant, yeah.
Right. And they don't do well here. They of course they have snow, in Japan and stuff like that, but it don't get real bitter cold like it does here.
Okay.
So usually what kills off the pheasant population is a hard
cold
winter.
Okay, so that was
And how the pheasant population gets here is from people getting 50 pheasants,
Yeah.
raising them, and then releasing them.
releasing them. Okay.
That's where pheasants come from.
Okay, I got what you're saying.
Yeah.
And then I heard another thing was like the blizzard of '77 was a big one that killed a lot of the natural pheasants off and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
there's no such thing as a natural pheasant.
No, there's okay.
There's ruffed grouses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I agree with that.
Yeah.
To that principle.
Okay.
But the pheasant population wasn't killed off by other animals, coyotes or fox or
Okay.
because it's not really supposed to be here.
I get what you're saying. Okay, I get what you're saying. Now, like a ruffed grouse and stuff like that. Like, how big? I don't really see many of them around this area.
There's, you know what? In the last few years, I've been seeing and hearing of them.
Have you been?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's cool to hear.
Yeah, I actually had one in rehab.
Oh, did you?
And, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and the thing approached a guy like it was a chicken.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, it just jumped up on his porch and started coming back every day. But that's, I guess, after doing some investigation on them, that's what they do. They will imprint easy too, just like a chicken or a duck.
Will they?
Yeah.
Okay, because I know it's it's a sport bird, but still.
Yeah.
That's,
well, they're native though.
That's a native bird.
Yeah, they're native.
That's a native
right.
bird. Like a woodcock.
Yeah.
Which I actually seen one of. I had the privilege to see one of those.
And then again, the fox and the coyotes don't harm them because they're camouflaged.
Unless they.
And the pheasant's not a camouflaged bird. It's bright colors.
Yeah, red
maybe
patches
in
on the
Japan
eye.
it gets camouflaged, but not here.
I got what you're saying. Yeah, it's just not natural.
Yeah.
When,
hens are, but.
Yeah, when you see a rooster pheasant out there, you're like, wow, look at big green head.
Yeah,
on him,
it sticks out like a sore thumb.
Oh yeah, and well, let's take a turn here. So what did you bring?
I brought Shaylin, my red-tailed hawk.
Can we see it?
And yeah.
All right.
And what is it? She is she's actually missing the tip of her right wing.
Okay.
So she can't fly.
Okay.
So that's why, again, like I say, that's why I have that permit.
Yeah.
To have her for possession for education.
For education. All right, cool. And I'm Bob's gonna bring her out here, and it's pretty cool. This is obviously the first time I've ever had a red-tailed hawk in my house, and probably be the last the last time I ever have a red-tailed hawk in my house. But it is pretty cool, and Bob's really good at what he does. I've known him for a number of years and stuff like that, and really what he does is amazing with these birds. Oh my goodness, we're gonna see this. Oh, there she is. Oh my goodness. Wow, look at that. Look at that. And she's just looking for. Now, what's going through her mind right now?
Well, she's really used to this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I figured by now she probably is. Oh yeah, don't worry about it too much.
She has a habit of going when she first comes out.
Oh yeah. That's fine. That's fine.
But you can see her right wing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can see her right wingtip is missing there.
Yeah, she's actually missing the whole carpal area or hand.
Okay.
So she can't fly.
She can't fly at all now. No.
And actually, when I rescued her, I had a tube feeder for 2 days.
Okay.
She was so emaciated she couldn't even stand up.
Yeah.
And after we got done with that 2 days of tube feeding,
yeah,
we had a real close bond.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why you end up keeping her then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. Honestly.
But she's been around for 9 years now.
Really? Wow. And how long does a red tail live?
Oh, in captivity she'll live 25, 30 years.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. That's pretty amazing, honestly. What's their life cycle out in the wild?
About 20.
About 20 years. Oh, can you just bring her down just a little bit? Awesome. Now, what is she doing here with her wings? That just trying to balance?
Yeah, she's just balancing.
Just balancing. And now, obviously, you have to wear that glove.
I do.
Or else, what's the power like in those talons?
Well, in her talons, they're probably got about 150 inch-pounds.
Oh wow.
Well, that's nothing. A great horned owl has 350 to 500.
350
to
500.
Like getting bit by a pit bull or a Rottweiler.
Wow. And that's
they could crush your arm even with the glove on.
And he's not. Oh, even with the glove on. Oh wow.
Put you right to your knees.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you ever had them try to squeeze on you?
Oh yeah.
Really?
I've had death locks on.
Oh my goodness. What do you do at that point?
Well, you just grin and bear it until they let go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh wow, that's awesome, man. I appreciate you bringing her out too. That's fantastic. That's awesome.
She's awesome.
That's awesome. I love them. Honestly, they're beautiful, beautiful birds. Beautiful birds. And obviously, now what's going through her mind right now? Just trying to figure out where her next meal is.
That's right. Come on, where's the rat?
Is it? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I gotcha. Wow, that's cool. Honestly, I never knew that they had that much power. Honestly, in their talons before.
Yeah. Well, that's where they do all their damage. It's not their beak.
It's just the talons.
It's the talons.
I gotcha. And wow, Wow, that's amazing. Honestly, I mean, and you see them up on the power lines now and stuff like that. You never think when they're close like this, it's an intimidating bird.
They are. They're a little bigger when they're 3 feet away.
Yeah, you ain't lying. I mean, it's definitely an intimidating bird when you see him. It's nothing like it's nothing that you want flying at you.
Well, that's the reason why I'm using her today.
Yeah.
Instead of like my Snowy, because he'd be freaking out in here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he'd be trying to jump.
Oh, wow.
She's a lot easier to control.
Is she? Okay.
He does good on the glove, the Snowy.
Yeah.
But when you get him in some close like this,
yeah,
he doesn't like it.
Okay. Well, cool, man. Thank you for bringing her out here.
Sure.
Yeah. If you want to, you can put her back. I'll take a picture of her and stuff like that after. But wow, that's cool. Honestly, it's really I wouldn't say intimidating, but I guess I have no better word for it than. Oh, he's freaking out. I guess I don't have any better word for it than I guess it's kind of intimidating. It's just such a big bird, that.
Well, they are intimidating.
Oh yeah, it has so much power. Wow, that's crazy. And you get to be around them all day, every day.
Yes.
That's cool.
I spend time with all my animals every day.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Especially my education animals.
Yeah.
If you they just act better if you handle them a lot,
I got you. Yeah. Hey, just move in just a little bit closer. Thank you, brother. No, just after the bird. No, that's cool though, man. I mean, I honestly didn't realize all the power that they had in their tails.
Yeah, they're strong.
Yeah. Wow, man. And, so what would you say honestly if you had to tell the public something, if you had to tell any of the public something, what would you tell people right now?
Well, the best thing to do with wildlife is watch it. Don't be afraid. Don't be intimidated.
Yeah.
Don't freak out when you see a bear or a coyote.
Yeah.
They're not out to come get us and eat us.
Yeah, true.
Enjoy watching them.
Yeah, especially in our area
yeah.
too. We don't have anything that's really gonna hurt you on purpose. At
no,
least,
well, I mean, there's bear, and that in certain situations might, but
yeah,
they're just as scared of us as we are of them.
Yeah, I had the opportunity in the swamps, in the Alabama swamps, to see a bear. I had one walk right behind me, about 5 yards away, and he was about as startled as I was when he went one way and I went the other.
Well, they want to get away. The same way with
yeah.
coyotes. That's what I use my coyote for education.
Yeah.
A lot of people think, for instance, that if you go out and shoot the coyotes, you're going to take the population down in your area.
Okay.
So they have big mass hunts for coyotes.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't work.
No?
No, because a coyote goes in heat one time a year.
Okay.
If you threaten a population, it's going to go in heat 2 times a year.
Oh, really?
So now instead of 6-8 pups,
yeah,
it's having 16 pups.
16 pups.
Yeah, 12, 16 pups.
So that's why you're starting to see the spike in population.
Yeah, maybe. And if you take out the alpha male, the alpha male stops all the females in the area from getting bred. He only breeds a certain number, the ones with the best genes.
Oh, really?
If you take that alpha male out, all the young males now will breed.
Now they're going to breed everyone.
So now everybody's going to be bred instead of a certain few.
Oh, wow.
So now your pups are going to be...
Yeah, now they're tripled.
Tripled and quadrupled.
I didn't know that. Honestly, I thought that it was just like, kind of like the mating cycle between everything else.
No, the coyotes go in heat once a year.
Okay. And then if they're threatened...
If they're threatened, they'll go... it's...
Yeah, it's nature.
It's nature.
It's nature. They're going to do what they... life will find a way.
The same way with a mouse or a rat or, a squirrel.
Yeah. Well, and man, I honestly didn't know about that, about the coyotes. We gotta watch out, these guys on the coyotes. Watch out, you're really gonna have triple the amount if you.
Yeah, you can hurt the balance that way.
Yeah, you gotta throw off the balance. I didn't think about it like that, honestly. I didn't think you could throw off the balance.
And they all have a purpose. They all have a point. They
all have a point.
A coyote, eat, upwards of, could eat up to upwards of 12 mice or rats a day.
Yeah.
So good rodent control.
That's true. And that's the thing too. Like foxes and coyotes and stuff like that. I mean, they do, like, foxes don't, but coyotes do attack deer. But I think it's a little bit more rare than they would do like more varmint hunting than anything.
Exactly. A deer can outrun the coyotes.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but mostly like you see them on trail cams and stuff like that. Usually dogging a deer. It's usually like the deer's wounded or something like that's happened. Well, I mean, honestly, that's that's pretty cool. I mean, I'm still looking at that red tail like that is awesome. I love these birds. I love being in our area like this and stuff like that, and starting to see them come back. And it's a great thing. It's a great thing you do too. Like I said, I've said it before. I'll say it again. You know, rehabilitators out there, and obviously I don't want to mention any names or anything like that. But if there's if there's one you have to call, I would say call you. You know, not to say that there isn't any other good ones out there, but at least you seem like. And you are a more personable person you could actually give somebody a step to go, like say if you found a deer or something like that, you could call somebody and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. I can point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
If I can't help you, I'll set you up with somebody who can.
I got you.
The same way with a raccoon or a skunk or a bat. I got
you.
I'll try to help you out because that's got to stay at the county of origin.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know that. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And I tell you what, I see, and I already can see a problem for seeing, and I'm gonna spring this one on you. I belong to this group, Iroquois Observations.
Yes.
For there, and I don't know. Do you know about that group on Facebook, Iroquois Observations?
Yes.
Okay. Did you? I don't know if you've seen recently. They've been posting a picture of the coyote.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, he's going. That's bad news right there. He's so friendly with people. I'm like, oh, yeah. Like somebody's been feeding him or something. You know what I mean?
That's. I kind of get a little perturbed with photographers.
Yeah.
Some of them out there are great.
Yeah.
But there's some of them out there who interfere.
Are there? Yeah. And that's a thing too. I mean.
Yeah. There was a nest of eagles actually that stopped nesting in a place over there.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, because of
photographers, messing with them.
And I even talked to the one guy, and he goes, "Well, they don't seem to mind." Well, I go, "Well, they don't seem to mind, but how do you can't say that."
Yeah.
Well, I wish I knew who the guy was because the next year they didn't come back and build the nest.
No, that's what happens too. I mean, everybody needs to realize that, and I'm not gonna say I get fed up with, but I get upset when hunters get a bad light from the same people who are out there taking pictures.
Yeah.
Like, listen, you got to realize, I get, me and there's other people out there that are harvesting animals, but you're causing damage too you just didn't realize that, to get the picture of that eagle, you just stepped on a ghost nest.
Your perfect picture, and you're walking in,
Yeah, you just stepped on a muskrat house, and, stuff like that.
There's a lot of good ones out there too, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm friends with a lot of them.
Yeah, maybe the one who takes pictures from Middleport. Is it Douglas or Dave Domitian?
I know of him.
Know of him?
Yeah.
I tried to get him on here, and he was like, "Oh, I'm just too busy taking pictures and stuff like that." But I mean, some of the pictures he takes are great. I don't know any photographers personally, so I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I know a bunch of them. A bunch of the wildlife photographers.
Yeah. I mean, some of the pictures that people get are great.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought that myself, too. I was sitting here the one night thinking, like, how often are these people actually harming?
Well, they do it with the reach-out scopes and stuff like that. You know?
That'd probably be the best way.
Yeah.
To get the, staying back. And
I have one that lives right down the street from me, actually.
Do you?
He takes pictures of my animals for me. And
Okay. Well, that's cool, man. Honestly, I thought that, too. I was like, how many people are not? Like, obviously you could get the scope that could see.
The better guys ain't the ones doing it. It's the amateurs.
It's the amateurs, right? Yeah, and then there's how many of those do you see out there? A ton,
most of them.
Yeah, which is and unfortunately they don't realize that they're stepping in places.
When you see somebody that's got a 3-4 foot scope on their camera,
that's a pro. Oh yeah,
he's a pro.
He's standing there a mile away. You can still see him close. Oh yeah, and I mean that's cool though, man. And I don't know. I feel like our area is so out of tune with wildlife that everybody looks at everything like a cartoon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's big cities.
Is it the fact that it's
Yeah,
well, I mean, how often does that happen?
Yeah. And they're all getting bigger in the area. You got Rochester, Buffalo, Niagara Falls. Yeah.
Well, how many calls do you get a year for people who own these animals? And
I probably the calls I couldn't even say because I don't rescue everything that's called about.
Oh yeah.
I can talk to people through it sometimes and say leave it alone.
Yeah.
Which is 50% of the time.
I gotcha.
Last year I handled 130 some animals.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh my goodness. But that's really basically the main part of the game is just to try. If you can leave it alone, as long as it's not injured, basically, leave it alone.
Yeah, right. And that's that's when it's injured, then there's no questions asked. We got to do something for it.
You got to do something for it and help it out. Like I had
even if that means putting it down.
Yeah.
But at least you're putting it out of it. You're
getting it out of stress. At least it's not stressing anymore, and that's a big thing too. Is people
or laying in pain.
Laying in pain. You don't.
Animals don't show pain the way we show pain.
No, they're not going to cry. They're going to sit there and look at you. And,
I mean, there's some of them that will cry. Baby squirrels and rabbits don't cry.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, no doubt.
They don't feel pain like we feel pain.
No.
We hurt our finger. Oh, Jesus. They just like, oh, I hurt my finger.
Keep on moving.
Yeah, right.
Keep on moving. Let's keep on with the day, man.
Before somebody smells that blood.
Oh yeah, you ain't lying. Well, that's the thing too. They gotta, people gotta realize that their life is on line every day. Every day that they wake up and go to bed, their life is on.
Every minute's a challenge.
Every minute's a challenge, and I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know. I mean. It'd be weird. It'd be a tough life being a squirrel. Let me tell you, especially around this area.
It would be tough.
It'd be a tough life being a squirrel.
Their lifespan ain't that long,
No, honestly, especially with the red tails being such an efficient hunter. I mean, they are efficient.
Oh yeah,
they are efficient. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen.
They come in with speed.
Yeah, and I've seen a red tail miss in my life, maybe once or twice. Honestly, and I don't know what. Obviously, you would know better than I would than anybody than what their diet is. But I've seen them have a rabbit, chipmunks, squirrels, raccoon, little baby raccoon. I've seen the one have snakes.
Anything that moves.
Anything that moves is what's going on there. Man, that's crazy. Honestly, that's crazy. What's the craziest animal you've ever had? Have you ever had like a wild one? Like, where did this come from?
Well, I've had to like to call on a silver fox that I really wasn't sure what it was when I first encountered it.
Yeah. Oh, where'd that come from?
Somebody somebody thought it'd be a good idea to go to Ohio, buy a silver fox.
Yeah.
And bring it home and raise it in their house in Niagara Falls.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So after about 3 months, they get a gland and they start smelling like a skunk.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh wow!
So this guy went to work. His old lady probably threw it out the door.
Okay, yeah. It was like, hey, I'm done with this thing. This thing stinks. Yeah. Oh yeah, which is a terrible idea. That whole process right there just sounds like a.
Well, yeah. I mean, a fox isn't a dog. No, it's not.
No, a fox isn't a dog. It's not a cat. It's not a house pet.
Well, that's where they just don't think things out.
Yeah. Like you see the people who have. Down south a lot, like they have tigers and lions and stuff like that, and then don't realize, like, oh, how'd this lion get out? Oh, maybe because you just had him fenced in with chicken wire. You know what I mean? Like,
it's all very. I'm USDA inspected every year.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
and there's things that you have to do. You can't.
Oh my God, I bet there's a lot of especially for different animals.
For the dangerous animals.
Yeah, like a coyote or something like that. Yeah. Which is obviously he or she's not dangerous.
Well, she is dangerous. I mean, she's not aggressive, but she's still dangerous.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
She's not aggressive to me, I should say.
Yeah, but she.
But if she ever did get out, not knowing what to do for hunting, she would approach somebody for who feeds their dogs or cats outside.
Yeah.
Without having the fear of man. That's not good.
I got you. I got you. Now coyotes. That's a bit. Since we're on the topic, a lot of people have very, I guess different opinions on coyotes, especially in our area. I hear different things like that. Like now, do you? I kind of a little bit know, but tell the people, how do they pack up? What are they doing?
No, they don't really pack. They'll hunt in family groups,
okay.
And the mother will teach the babies how to hunt. But they're really not packs like a wolf will hunt in a pack.
Yeah, okay.
They will be in family groups, though.
Okay, how big are those?
And the things, well, they could be, 6.
Oh, okay.
5,
so it looks
6.
like a
yeah,
pack.
It looks like a pack. Yeah.
Okay.
But here's the thing about the coyotes around here. They run on the heavier side.
Okay.
My female weighs about 65 pounds.
Okay.
Out west, that's big for even a male.
Yeah, because I know out west, like I see people have them on different hunting shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They only look like they're about 30
They
pounds.
look a little bigger than a fox.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
But the ones the deer or the coyotes in this area have a very fine minuscule DNA of the Minnesota timber wolf.
The what?
The DNA.
Of a timber wolf.
Yes.
Oh wow.
So not that coyotes and wolves are all breeding like crazy.
Yeah.
A couple hundred years ago, it happened.
It happened, and then they just carried that gene.
And they carried that gene. Yeah.
Okay, and that's why they're the way they are.
And that's why they run a little bigger.
Okay. Now, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a wild one for you, and I'm gonna ask you, and you can tell me right off if it's bullshit or not, right? But I've heard of people say that they've sighted mountain lions. What's the story on that?
I wouldn't doubt it.
No, you wouldn't doubt it,
No,
really?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Really? Now, would that be that? Obviously, I wouldn't think that was natural, but would that be from like somebody had one and released it?
Well, no. They've been seen in the Adirondacks and the Catskills.
Okay.
They've have.
Oh, really?
They've have people have cams set up or the trail cams.
Yeah.
And I just wouldn't doubt it.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
They could survive here. Why not?
Yeah, I guess they could. I mean, there's
Yeah.
enough, game animals for that they could eat.
Right.
Enough, stuff for them.
And would they? And they're not even out west where they are.
Yeah.
You don't see them.
No.
Very seldom do you see a cat.
Yeah, I got you.
You know.
Except for California. California seems to be like
By the Hollywood sign.
Yeah. Did you see that one? That one?
Yeah.
But lately it seems because they stopped all hunting for mountain lions in California. You can't hunt
It
them.
was Jane Goodell.
Yeah,
who did that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't hunt them in California. But now it seems to be like they're starting to their population is starting to boom a little bit.
We're part of that balance.
Oh, yeah.
Whether people believe it or not.
Yeah.
We're part of that cycle.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt,
Yeah.
doubt. I don't doubt that at all. I don't disagree with that at all. And that's the thing too. I mean, people got to realize too when they
evolved into what we are.
That's true.
It's
yeah, and people got to realize too, like when they make weird laws and weird things like that, they don't ever think 2 steps ahead of what could happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you're saying about Ohio, like you can go buy an alligator in Ohio. That's 2 states away.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that like 2 states away you could do this, but in New York you can't, which is good. Honestly, you shouldn't. Nobody should have.
I kind of agree with that.
Do you?
Yeah. I agree that not anybody should be able to have it.
No, that's what that's what I agree with. I mean, you should have to go. Honestly, if you're a person who goes out and you buy a fox or something like that, there should be somebody you should be checked.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
The USDA, and that's what they do in New York State.
Which is great. Which is great that New York State does.
And I appreciate what they do.
Yeah, honestly.
Because when I got that bobcat,
yeah,
I told my inspector.
Yeah.
About this guy.
Okay.
And something was done.
Yeah.
Something was tried to have to be done,
yeah.
But the guy was already out of business.
Oh, okay.
By the time because when I bought it, he was getting out of it.
Okay, so I see
But he was a legal USDA breeder of bobcats.
Yeah, but even though it's legal, it doesn't mean that
doesn't mean he was doing it right.
Doesn't mean he was doing it right. Yeah.
Or somebody wasn't getting their palm grease to turn and look the other way.
I got you. Which I'm guessing that probably happens a lot too.
Well, a bobcat kitten brings about $2,500.
Okay.
So you have 4 bobcat kittens.
Yeah, that's money right there.
That's $10,000.
Mm-hmm. And people,
So here's $1,000 to turn your back. So let's just say that never happens. Bull.
Yeah, like that never happens. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh yeah, and it's one person knows somebody, and then
that's it.
That's all it takes is
So I'm glad New York State does what it does, and
yeah. That's one good thing I will say about New York State that they do is at least when you're talking about wildlife, they do seem to be pretty thorough.
All the ECOs out there, they're the greatest in any state.
Yeah, no doubt.
They care about the animals and
yeah. Well, I had a wounded goose right behind the house last year in the canal, and I had called the DEC. They came right out and everything like that.
Yeah.
They, by the time it came, actually it got eaten.
Yeah.
Which it is what it is. I was a day late, calling. I ended up seeing him one day, and then I drove by again and I seen him, and I'm like, there's something wrong with this goose.
Yeah.
I mean, the pond it was in was starting to get smaller and smaller. It was starting to ice up real bad, and I'm like, there's no reason he should be there. And then I got eaten. But and you know what? That's best case scenario. And I'm going to say best case scenario for the goose. But that's the life cycle. That's the natural life cycle. And people need to realize that too.
But now, if the goose was injured because of something that was caused by us, that's not the cycle.
That's not the cycle.
Yeah.
So that was interference.
Then that's where I like to intervene. That's
where
I like to.
Yeah. That's where you try to step in and actually get that animal rehabilitated.
Right. If it was hit by a car and then slowly died and suffered in a pond, that's not natural.
That's not natural. Yeah.
If something got a hold of him and injured him and he got away, that's natural.
Let's say if the red tail tried to grab something and got away, that's a natural.
Right.
Which is good. Honestly, I look at it the same way I think that you do. That if it's natural, then you should probably just let it happen.
There's times where I tell people leave it alone.
Yeah, I mean, you know what kills me too is like when you see guys and girls, families out there feeding ducks bread. And I'm gonna say this for everybody: do not feed ducks bread, please. Do not feed ducks bread and geese. It is not good for them.
No,
that bleached Wonder Bread is not good for a goose.
No value whatsoever. No nutritional value.
No.
And if you feed them in the water, the bread goes to the bottom.
Yeah.
A naturally occurring bacteria called botulism will start.
Okay.
And that'll wipe out the whole pond.
Will it really? Okay.
Yeah, so never ever feed birds in water.
No. And I see if for some odd reason you have the urge to go feed a wild goose, if they're in like a cemetery pond or something, get some cracked corn or something.
Wild bird seed.
Yeah. Don't use the Wonder Bread.
Cat food.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dry cat food.
Yeah. Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's something. You learn something every day. Yeah. I know that. It's better than bread. We'll just say
better than bread.
Anything's better than bread.
Bread has absolutely no nutritional value.
No, and it's bad for their system too.
Well, it's bad for their crop. Yeah. Any bird that has a crop.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's cool. I mean, it's good. Like it's good what you do. Honestly, I'll say it again. I'll say it 100 times. It's great what you do because there's not many people out there who do what you do.
Exactly.
And
I wish there were more. I would make my job easier.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like how many calls you get a year is, that just goes to show you, and that's you could. But
the way we're growing now, that it's getting a lot easier on me.
I got you. How many members you got?
Well, right now volunteers. There's my son and daughter-in-law just got their license. My wife, she's not a rehabber, but she helps with all the other stuff. Oh, yeah. 2 of my grandsons, and then there's 3 or 4 other people who volunteer.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. At least it's not all on you. It's not like
No,
what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's cool. And that's the thing too. I mean, I guess if you want to be a volunteer, there's nothing saying that you have to have a license to volunteer.
Well, you kind of do if you're going to help with the animals.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't know. Okay.
When I go set up and do stuff on weekends, then you don't have to. But if you're going to, I require, if you're going to work with the animals, you need to have the license.
Okay. I get what you're saying. Yeah. Which honestly, looking at it like that, it's probably not a bad thing to have.
Well, here's another thing too. Having a state rehabber's license, that allows you to do mammals.
Oh, okay.
In order to do birds, you have to have a federal license.
That makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
So in order to get a federal license, you have to work with an organization or somebody who has experience for 2 years.
Okay. Oh, wow.
And then they can sign off and so you can get your federal permit too.
Okay, so they make it difficult, but that's for a reason.
Well, it is, and that's just for not anybody can just do it.
Yeah. Because honestly, you know what would happen is if anybody could just go get that license, you'd start having everybody out there.
You have to take a test.
Okay.
A state test.
Oh, wow. Okay.
To rehab mammals.
Yeah.
After you get that test, like I said, then you have to work with somebody specializing in birds.
Okay.
For 2 years.
Okay, to get that federal.
To get the
federal. And for anybody who didn't know this, basically every bird, native or not native, because we get some birds that fly, migrate this way. They are federally protected unless they have a season on them, and outside of that season, they become federally protected again. Yeah. Oh yeah, and the only thing I don't think is like a pigeon.
Well, pigeon's an invasive species.
It's a pigeon invasive? Yeah. Okay, that's why, honestly, you could hunt pigeon if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I do. I love them. I think they're delicious.
Squab,
yeah. And Starling, I don't think European Starling has a.
No, they're not protected.
That's an invasive one, right?
Yeah,
house sparrows
are invasive too.
Like I say, I know it's very few.
Yeah.
Very few, but the rest of them, yeah. I mean, like Tweety bird, down to a goldfinch.
Any bird that migrates through America is protected.
Is federally protected, unless they have. Which they're still protected. But,
they're game
they
birds.
have a game bird. Yeah, they're a game bird. Stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, which is good because I mean, you would see honestly, I think you would see if they weren't federally protected, you'd see people have birds of every kind at their house,
or be killing birds for feathers.
Well, yeah,
that was big back in the day, and that's why it's actually illegal to even possess a feather of a migratory bird
unless you're Native American, right?
Yeah, and you had to be on a registry.
Okay, yeah, because I know. I heard of a guy get in trouble for having a eagle feather.
Yeah.
And he obviously didn't kill the eagle, but he found it. You're not even supposed to have those.
And if you have one feather, they're going to slap you in the hand and probably not give you a ticket.
Yeah.
When you have a whole tail feathers. And,
you have a talon or something. Like, there's something wrong with you. Oh, yeah, something happened. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where'd you get this, buddy? Yeah. Oh, yeah. But, and again, I'm just going to keep this one a little bit short. And, if you have anybody who wants to contact you, how would they contact you?
Well, I have flyers all over the place.
Okay.
But my phone number is 716-796-5771.
Okay.
And it's Wolcottsville Wildlife Rescue on Facebook.
And that's another good one too. I mean, I know most people have a Facebook.
My best resource is Facebook.
Is it Facebook? Yeah. Which is great too. I mean, you can contact people from out there, and people can contact you. And just for everybody, remember, if you see something going on, pay attention to it for a little bit. Don't just call Bob and say, "Hey, I got a hawk up in the tree. There's something wrong with him." There's probably not. He's probably sitting there looking at the rabbit.
Well, that's right. Like even when I was saying, I talk to people on the phone.
Yeah.
50% of the time, I'm not doing anything.
You're just talking them through
educating them.
Yeah. And which is probably, like you said, 50%, probably even more. Honestly,
it could be. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's great. Like I said, it's a great thing that you do. It's a great thing, for our area. For everybody should realize that. Rehabilitation is a big job.
Yeah, we're out there.
And you're out there, and you're doing it, and you're educating people, which is a big thing.
Yes.
Education is huge, especially you're doing it with the schools. Like I said, I seen you at the flock swap. I seen you at the pumpkin drop. So you're out there and you're doing it, which is great. You're pounding you're doing your own beat and you're pounding it, and you're getting it in people's heads.
That's it.
And I appreciate you so much for coming out here and taking your time, man.
Good.
I hope you had a good time.
Great. Yeah, I did.
You had fun, just a little thing. And obviously, you're always welcome if you want to come out here and say, "Hey, I got some stuff to talk about, man. I want to come on here." You're always welcome to come out here. All right. Thank you, brother.
All right.
We'll see y'all later.